GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good morning, I'm Lauren Dupuis. This Saturday, we're following a police search for two suspects after a boat collision on Lac des Montagnes, and we'll have traffic updates as delays stay moderate across the island. Tonight's candlelight tribute to Adele and Michael Jackson will also be highlighted. Over to you, Ryan.
The city of Lachine announced a public consultation on the open water pool project scheduled for next month.
The meeting will take place at the Lachine Community Center on a Thursday evening, with online submissions also accepted.
The open water pool aims to provide a year-round recreational swimming facility for residents, enhancing local health and tourism.
All right, let's get into it with today's headlines. We start with the community pool consultation in Lachine and the upcoming church demolition. Here are our top stories. Montreal police are searching for two suspects after their boat collided with a jet ski on Lac des Montagnes in early August. The hit-and-run investigation remains ongoing. Philippe Nadeau has the full story.
On a breezy morning at Lac des Montagnes, police are canvassing the shoreline for two men who fled after their motorboat slammed into a jet ski. Witnesses say the small watercraft was traveling at speed when the impact knocked the rider off, and the boat accelerated away without stopping. Officers from the Service de Police de la Ville de Montreal have opened a hit-and-run investigation, reviewing lakefront cameras and interviewing recreational users who were on the water early August. The search focuses on identifying the boat's registration and locating the two suspects believed to be on board at the time. Anyone with information is urged to contact investigators as soon as possible. Philippe Nadeau, GMNA News, Lac des Montagnes.
Scientists are combing the forests of Lanaudière today in a coordinated effort to pinpoint the province's oldest white pine and verify its exact age. The project, launched early this morning, brings together botanists, dendrochronologists, and local conservation groups who will survey historic stands, collect core samples, and use radiocarbon dating to establish how many centuries the tree has survived. White pines across Quebec are known to reach several hundred years, and identifying the premier specimen could provide insight into the region's ecological history and climate resilience. Researchers say the search also supports broader efforts to protect ancient forest habitats threatened by development and climate change. Findings are expected to be released later this year, offering a clearer picture of the tree's place in Quebec's natural heritage. The initiative underscores the value of preserving living monuments that have witnessed generations of human settlement.
Early this morning in Abercorn, resident Isabelle Martineau turned a weed problem into a refreshing solution. She spent the pre-dawn hours pulling Japanese knotweed, a fast-spreading invasive plant that officials label harmful across Quebec, and then pressed the harvested stalks into a single batch of lemonade. Martineau says the citrus drink not only showcases a creative use for the plant, but also helps curb its expansion by removing large clumps from the landscape. Neighbors who sampled the drink described it as surprisingly tart, with a hint of earthiness from the plant's roots. Environmental groups have warned that unchecked knotweed can damage riverbanks, outcompete native vegetation, and cost municipalities millions in management. By converting the biomass into a consumable beverage, Martineau hopes to inspire neighbors to harvest the species rather than let it proliferate. The effort arrives as provincial authorities step up control programs this summer.
Montreal is rolling out body-worn cameras for municipal police in a bid to increase transparency and public confidence, though experts caution technology alone won't solve deeper issues. Jose Cartier has the full story.
Montreal police officers are now being fitted with body-worn cameras as the city rolls out its first phase of the program. Officers on downtown patrols have already received the devices, which are being activated during routine stops and traffic checks. City officials say the visual record is meant to reinforce public confidence and provide a clearer picture of interactions. Criminologist Remy Boivin cautioned that cameras alone will not address deeper community concerns, noting that transparency requires consistent policy and oversight. The rollout includes training sessions on proper usage and data storage, and the department plans to evaluate the impact over the coming months. Citizens walking along St. Laurent have watched officers attach the small black units before heading out on patrol. Jesse Cartier, GMNA News, Montreal.
The religious authorities announced that the ruins of a 100-year-old church in southwest Montreal will be torn down starting tomorrow. A winter fire left the historic structure severely compromised, creating an imminent risk of collapse. Engineers inspected the site and deemed the remaining walls unsafe for public access, prompting the decision to clear the site before further deterioration. The demolition crew is expected to begin early in the morning, with safety crews on standby to protect nearby residents. Officials said the removal is necessary to prevent an uncontrolled failure that could endanger the surrounding neighborhood. While the building held a place in the community's heritage, authorities emphasized that public safety must come first. The demolition is slated to proceed under strict oversight, with plans to evaluate the site for future use after the structure is cleared. Later we'll hear how the Quebec Health Agency is buying land for a new Maisonneuve-Rosemont hospital, plus more. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. On Friday afternoon, the Quebec Health Agency announced the acquisition of a parcel of land in the Maisonneuve-Rosemont district for a new community hospital. The purchase, valued at 30 million Canadian dollars, marks the first concrete step in the province's plan to expand health services in that neighborhood. Officials said the site, located near the historic Olympic Stadium area, will host a modern facility designed to relieve pressure on existing hospitals and improve access for local residents. Construction is slated to begin in the next few years, with the agency promising state-of-the-art equipment and expanded emergency capacity. The move follows a broader provincial effort to upgrade medical infrastructure across the island, addressing growing demand and demographic shifts. Stakeholders will now move forward with design and environmental reviews. The acquisition was finalized at a council meeting held in the City Hall earlier this week.
Lachine will host a public consultation on the open water swimming pool at Lac St. Louis, seeking community input after the project faced possible cancellation. Marion Catay has the full story.
Authorities are opening a public consultation on the proposed open water swimming pool at Lac St. Louis. The meeting, set for Friday, 21st August, will take place at the Municipal Community Center in Lachine, inviting residents to weigh in as the project faces possible cancellation. Officials say the pool, envisioned as a year-round facility, has been threatened with abandonment after budget concerns and environmental reviews. The pool site sits on the shore of Lac St. Louis, a narrow arm of the St. Lawrence River. The consultation will feature presentations on design, safety measures and funding, followed by a question and answer period. The session will run from 9 to 11 a.m., with translation available. City planners hope feedback will decide the next steps. Marion Catay, GMNA News, Lachine.
Quebec's police oversight body has opened a formal investigation into a fatal highway collision that took place in early August. Authorities say the crash occurred after the driver of a sedan attempted to evade officers, leading to a high-speed pursuit that ended in a deadly wreck. The probe, launched by the provincial watchdog, will examine whether police tactics contributed to the loss of life. Investigators will review dash camera footage, radio logs and eyewitness accounts to determine if procedural standards were followed. Families of the victims have been notified, and the case remains under active review. The agency's mandate allows it to step in whenever police conduct is suspected of playing a role in serious incidents, underscoring its role in maintaining accountability. The investigation remains ongoing as investigators coordinate with local enforcement to secure evidence. Officials have not disclosed whether any charges will be filed pending the outcome of the review.
Yesterday, the Quebec Ministry of Public Security issued a formal decree banning the display of Hells Angels insignia across the province. The order, signed by Minister Ian Lafreniere, makes it illegal to wear or display the Outlaw Motorcycle Club's patches, colors, or any identifying symbols. Violations will be treated as a provincial offense, subject to fines and possible seizure of the items. Law enforcement officials said the measure follows a series of investigations targeting the group's organized crime activities and aims to disrupt its public presence. The Hells Angels, long identified as a criminal organization in Quebec, have faced raids and prosecutions in recent years. Authorities emphasized that the ban does not affect lawful personal expression unrelated to the club and will be enforced by police and municipal officers. The decree will be posted on the ministry's website and communicated to all law enforcement agencies province-wide.
2 e-scooter riders were spotted on Highway 125 South in Laval, prompting safety concerns and renewed calls for stricter enforcement of Quebec's ban on highway scooters. Marion Kate has the full story.
2 riders zipped along the southbound lanes of Highway 125 in Laval this morning, their electric scooters humming against the rush of commuter traffic. Witnesses said the riders weaved between cars, prompting drivers to honk and flash headlights. Police officers arrived within minutes, confirming that provincial law expressly forbids e-scooters on any highway. The incident has sparked renewed calls from local safety groups for tighter enforcement and clearer penalties. Officials said they are reviewing patrol patterns after a string of similar sightings over the past weeks. The debate continues as commuters and city planners weigh the growing popularity of micro-mobility against road safety rules. Marion Kate, GMNA News, Laval.
Let's get a look at your morning forecast with our meteorologist for today.
A weak trough drifting east under a calm high lets sunshine dominate, while the jet stream steers a dry spell. On this date, the city's all-time heat record stands at 32.4 degrees, set in 2021 during a lingering heat wave that pushed night temperatures into the high 20s. The coldest reading ever logged on August 21st is 13 degrees, recorded in 2023 when an unseasonal Arctic dip slipped southward, blanketing the region in frost. By contrast, the climate normal for today hovers around 22 degrees high and 15 degrees low, comfortably between those extremes. The live radar shows a clear canvas across southern Quebec and the St. Lawrence corridor. No echoes are present, confirming that the upper-level jet remains fast enough to sweep any lingering moisture eastward without forcing lift. With the high pressure aloft strengthening and surface pressure falling only modestly, the atmosphere stays stable. Expect this quiet pattern to persist, delivering dry air into downtown Montreal by mid-morning and holding through the evening. At 7 this morning, Montreal sits at 12 degrees with a clear sky, humidity near 87%, and a light northwest breeze barely moving the air. Pressure is falling, nudging the surface toward a low, while the jet stream streams from the southwest at 56 kilometers per hour, reinforcing the dry, subsiding air column. By 9 the temperature climbs to 16, and by noon reaches 22 as solar heating overcomes the modest moisture. The afternoon will peak near 25, then dip to 23 by sunset. UV index holds at 5, and wind remains below 25 kilometers per hour, shifting gently from the south. No weather alerts are active. Looking ahead, Saturday remains dry with a high near 26 and a low around 11, the sun staying unbroken across the region. Sunday the sky thickens, bringing overcast conditions and a 35% chance of rain, while temperatures soften to a high of 24 and a low of 15. Monday repeats the mild trend, high 22, low 16, but the chance of precipitation nudges up to 40%, keeping clouds in play. Tuesday introduces the first measurable rain, a light shower regime with a 45% probability and temperatures holding steady at 22 to 16. Wednesday clears once more, offering a bright day with a high of 23 and a low of 17, a brief return to the clear sky pattern that defined the start of the week. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunrise is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic's moderate delays, the chamber spotlight on good food, and tonight's candlelight tribute to Adele and Michael Jackson. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Morning commuters, a major bottleneck is building in the Viger Tunnel between Rue Panet and the exit at Boulevard Robert Bourassa. Traffic is crawling, expect delays of 20 minutes or more. A second major slowdown runs through the Ville-Marie Tunnel from Boulevard Robert Bourassa to Boulevard Saint Laurent, with similar congestion. On Rue Joseph Dufresne in Montreal Nord, the street is closed to traffic between Avenue Hector Lamar and Avenue Aimé Leonard, forcing drivers onto nearby Boulevard Saint Laurent and Rue La Jeunesse. A minor water service interruption on Avenue Saint Julien between Rue de Charleroi and Rue de Castel may cause a few extra seconds of waiting. There is also a minor hindrance at the Ville-Marie Exit 5 access to Rue Mansfield, but flow remains steady there. Aside from these points, the rest of the network is moving freely. No transit delays are reported, so trains and buses are on schedule. Expect the afternoon rush to ease once the tunnel work clears later this morning.
The Lion King takes the stage today at Salle Wilfrid Pelletier in Place des Arts, delivering Disney's beloved story with breathtaking puppetry and live music, perfect for families looking for a magical start to the weekend. If you're in the mood for a soulful sing-along, Candlelight presents a 60-minute tribute to Adele at Theatre Rialto, offering a chance to hear her biggest hits performed intimate style. For those craving high-energy outdoor vibes, the Warped Tour Montreal rolls through Parc Jean-Drapeau right now, packing punk and hardcore bands into a weekend of non-stop adrenaline. If you prefer a quieter afternoon, the World Press Photo Exhibition at Marché Bonsecours showcases 1,500 award-winning images, reminding us of the power of photojournalism. And keep an eye on the calendar later this week, as MUTEK returns to Place des Arts, promising a week of immersive digital art and music that will push the boundaries of creativity. And now here's Tyler with sports.
Montreal hockey is moving fast, prospects rising, legends healing, trophies vanishing. Canadiens prospect Hayden Popinkies is leaning into the jump to NCAA competition, embracing the step up against older, more experienced players. Meanwhile, the Athletic projects Montreal and San Jose as the top Stanley Cup contenders 5 years out. And in a story nobody saw coming, the Walter Cup is missing, somewhere between here and Alberta, where Montreal Victoire forward Dara Greig was waiting on it. Fourth-round picks don't usually turn heads, but LJ Mooney is making the Canadiens look smart. Taken in the 2025 draft, the 5'8" forward put up 30 points in 34 NCAA freshman games. The size questions aren't gone, but that kind of production buys you credibility fast in any prospect room. Craig Button says Montreal's competitive window runs 6 years, and the core apparently agrees, with the young group prioritizing a cup chase over chasing dollars. On a tougher note, Canadiens legend Yvon Lambert is recovering from surgery after fracturing his hip and femur in a fall, wishing him a full and speedy recovery. Big summer for the Habs. Camp is going to tell us everything.
Thanks, Tyler. Good Food, the Montreal-based meal kit company headquartered in downtown Montreal, is at a crossroads. After a rapid leadership change, its chief executive stepped down after less than 6 months. The business sought creditor protection to restructure its finances. That move signals a major shift for a brand that has been a kitchen staple across Quebec, delivering fresh, pre-portioned ingredients to families looking for convenient, home-cooked meals. The restructuring aims to streamline operations and preserve the jobs that keep the local supply chain humming. For Montrealers, Good Food isn't just a service. It's the weekly ritual that turns a busy weekday into a shared dinner around the table. Its future will shape how we feed our neighborhoods. Next, the Parti Québécois fields a Radio X journalist as candidate, sparking criticism, and a call to protect 57-year-old Saner racetrack.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. Radio X journalist has been named the Parti Québécois candidate in Charlevoix, Côte-de-Beaupré, prompting the mayor of La Malbaie to decry the move as a political strategy and a former Saint-Simeon mayor to withdraw his support. Philippe Nadeau has the full story.
The Parti Québécois has named a Radio X journalist as its candidate for the Charlevoix, Côte-de-Beaupré riding. The move drew immediate rebuke from the mayor of La Malbaie, who called it a calculated electoral tactic. Across the river, the former mayor of Saint-Simeon announced he will withhold his vote from the PQ for the first time, citing a personal decision not to support the party. Both municipal leaders say the nomination blurs the line between journalism and politics, and they warn voters to scrutinize the candidate's background. The PQ, meanwhile, says the choice reflects its effort to bring fresh voices into the legislature. Local activists have already begun organizing town hall meetings to discuss the implications of media figures entering partisan races. Philippe Nadeau, GMNA News, Charlevoix.
The St. Pie Town Council is weighing a high school project on the historic Saner racetrack, prompting calls to designate the 57-year-old venue as a protected heritage site. Denise Lariviere has the full story.
The council chambers in St. Pie are buzzing as members weigh a new high school project on the historic Saner racetrack. The track, which has served drivers for 57 years, sits on a sprawling lot of paved ovals and grandstand remnants that locals still use for community events. After a brief session, councilors voted to table the school plan and instead pushed for an official heritage designation to shield the site from future development. Advocates argue the racetrack's wooden grandstand and original start gate layout embody the region's motorsport legacy. The council's motion now heads to the Provincial Heritage Board for review. Residents gathered outside the grandstand, holding flyers that highlighted the track's role in regional racing festivals and urging officials to act quickly. Denise Lariviere, GMNA News, St. Pie.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local Sunrise. Tonight's look at the historic Montreal church ruins set for demolition reminded us how our city balances heritage and progress. I'm Lauren Dupuis, and I'll see you tomorrow for more stories that matter to our community.